Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary. I am Spencer, your host on this most fabulous, amazing podcast. And we are talking about still more new words that were added to the Oxford Dictionary in March of 2025. So let's talk about them. The first one in this episode is plantation shutter. It's two words. It is a noun, and this is a hinged internal shutter of the type associated with plantation houses, typically having wide louvers, which may be pivoted to provide adjustable ... So a plantation house, of course, you can't not think of the plantations in the South of America where there were lots of bad things going on back then. But, now these days, that type of house that was on that property, probably very large and grand, maybe. We call that a plantation house now. And so the types of window shutter, that's what we're talking about, windows, the shutters on the windows. They're called plantation shutters. Wide louvers that may be pivoted to provide, so are these the slats, maybe the horizontal slats, and you can adjust them. Maybe there's like a vertical piece of wood that goes across all of them, and you can move it, and you can adjust how the light is coming in, and that's a plantation shutter. All right, next we have plot hole, two words, noun. It is a narrative or logistical inconsistency in a story. Oh, when you are talking to maybe literature or movie buffs, and they start listing off all the plot holes in your favorite movie, and you're like, I just want to enjoy the movie for what it is. I don't care about plot holes. I have not been as good at seeing plot holes as other people, but it's basically like, would that really happen? They could have just done this, so those are sort of types of examples of plot holes. Let's just look up a real, let's see, examples of plot holes. Can you give me real examples? Here. Harry Potter's inconsistent use of time turners, the lack of explanation for Michael Myers' driving ability in Halloween. That's a good one. And the inconsistent portrayal of the Ant-Man suit physics in the Marvel movies. Other examples, the signs aliens being vulnerable to water despite living on a water planet. What? Monsters, Inc. line about Mike and Sully knowing each other since the 4th grade, which contradicts the prequel, Monsters University. Oh, come on, Pixar. You weren't paying attention to your own stuff. The Michael Myers driving, I enjoy that very much. Let's dig into that a little deeper. In the first Halloween film, Michael Myers escapes from a mental institution as a child and is seen driving a car. There is no explanation for how he learned to drive while being institutionalized, making this a notable plot hole. He was in the mental institution since he was 5 or 6 years old? He was very young. All right, those are some good plot holes. If you have some favorite plot holes, feel free to message me, leave me a voicemail, all those things. All right, next. It's another Spanish word. It is pobrecita. Pobrecita. It is a noun, and the context is among Hispanic Americans and in Latin or Spanish or Latin American contexts. It is a poor or unfortunate girl or woman, especially one who deserves pity or sympathy, ... Well, I don't know how much more context we need. Pobrecita, poor is sort of pobre. I don't know if there's a connection there. But if you are a girl or a woman who deserves pity or sympathy, then you would be called a pobrecita. What context? Why might you deserve pity or sympathy? Maybe your relationship is over. Maybe your team didn't win. So many different possibilities. Why should you think of some? You don't need to. Okay. Oh, pobrecita. Next we have por favor, or if you are a little too American, you might say por favor. No, you can't say it that way. It's por favor. Two words. This is an interjection. It is chiefly in Spanish contexts and among Hispanic Americans. It is used in polite request or to add an emphasis or urgency to an entreaty, exhortation, etc. ... I mean, really, it just means please, right? Can we just say that that's, I mean, it doesn't, yeah, it's just please. Por favor, please, can I have this, please? Can we talk about some plot holes, por favor? Polite request, please. If you're not polite, you don't say por favor. But if you're very polite, you say por favor. All right, next we have prima, Prima. It is the second form of the noun, so the first form must have already been in the dictionary. This is in Spanish contexts and among Hispanic Americans. It is a female cousin, also a close female friend, often as a form of address. So you would call this person, if that person is your female cousin or your close female friend, you would call them, hey, prima, what's going on? How you doing? Prima, I'm calling you prima. I mean, I think it just means like number one or first or something. So I don't know why. Let's just look up prima in English. Let's see. In Spanish, prima directly translate to female cousin. So I was very wrong. Prima, I think of, the first, but I don't know what context that would be in. Anything else? So yeah, cousin, and then I think it just became a little bit more loosely like a female friend, because sometimes people use cousin, aunt, uncle in kind of loose ways for friends. So yeah, but here in Italian or Latin, prima does mean first, so that's why I thought of that, like the prima donna, the first donna, the Madonna. All right, next we have promise ring, noun. It is a ring worn as a symbol of love, loyalty, etc., especially one given to a romantic partner as a sign of commitment and sometimes betrothal. In later use, ... Don't know what that later use is, so we'll never know how people are using this later. But yeah, promise rings. I mean, this was definitely a thing, I think, in the, oh boy, even maybe as late as the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s. Who knows how far back promise rings go. Some say that the cave people, the Neanderthals, were giving promise rings to each other made out of wood. So yeah, it's like, here, I promise to you, I'll give you this ring. I promise to you that I will stay committed to you. And I hope that you will stay committed to me, and we will be together forever. Here's my promise ring. Betrothal, so that takes it to another level, like, hey, now we're going to get married because I gave you this promise ring. And of course, I think that clearly evolved into the engagement ring. The promise ring became the engagement ring. Hey, we're engaged. We're going to have a future engagement to have a wedding, because I put this ring on your finger. Promise ring. All right, next we have prompt engineer. Prompt engineer. Is that an engineer who's always on time, or an engineer who is creating prompts for something? Let's find out. It is a noun. It is a person whose job is to formulate and refine prompts for an artificial intelligence program, algorithm, etc., in order to optimize its output, or to ... to come up with something for the AI to create. I want this image, and so I'm going to come up with a very good descriptive prompt. That is a word that has come up a lot recently with this whole AI thing. I mean, God, it hasn't been that long since the AI has taken over our lives. But yes, coming up with the right kind of prompt seems like a very good skill. So they were like, this is such an important skill that we're going to call these people engineers. They are engineering a prompt to make it so perfect. Yeah, I have not delved into those. I mean, I dabbled like a while ago on those early forms of picture things like, show me a picture of this person doing this thing in this type of style. But, the prompts, they can get real deep, real detailed. Now we have prompt engineering. Noun, the action or process of formulating and refining prompts for an artificial intelligence program, algorithm, etc., in order to optimize its output or to ... The prompt engineer is doing some prompt engineering, the creation of that prompt. Moving on to, we got another slang, derogatory, and offensive word, and it is Spanish, and it is puto. 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 It is the second form of this noun. It is a male prostitute, also a sexually promiscuous or lecherous man, also as a general term of abuse or contempt. They also throw out the word whore. So if you are a man who is sexually promiscuous, lecherous, just trying to hook up with all the different possible people that you can, then you could be called a puto. Should we throw off the my Google search history and just look up what it actually translates to in English? Puto? No, that's wrong. It thought I was trying to look up a Latin word, and it said I think. But no, we wanted Spanish. I should have put that in there. So we're scrolling to find the Spanish. Here we go. Oh, interesting. It translates to fucking. Wonder how accurate that is. Anyway, that's puto, a male prostitute or promiscuous or lecherous man. Next we have ¿qué pasa? More Spanish. Interjection. It's two words. The first word is Q-U-E. The second word is P-A-S-A. So this is chiefly in Spanish contexts and among Hispanic Americans, especially as an informal greeting. It means what's going on, what's happening, what's up, all of those possibilities. ¿Qué pasa? It's like, hey, just like how are things? What's up? Tell me the news. How are you? ¿Qué pasa? Next is real talk. Two words. Noun. It is honest, direct, or candid speech or conversation, especially concerning subjects that are personally significant or especially meaningful. Also, affirming ... Well, I don't know. But basically like, hey, let's have some real talk. Let's talk about these things. Let's talk about these types of topics that we don't typically talk about as normal humans when we're really normally just talking about the weather. What are you gonna do this weekend? We're gonna watch the sportsy games. But real talk is like, what are your relationships like? How are you feeling? Are you depressed? What's your sex life like? All of those types of things. Let's get into some real talk. I love getting deep with people pretty quick. I could definitely get deep quick. It doesn't happen a lot, but I'm into it. Because, we're all humans. We're all dealing with the same crap. Let's have some real talk. Not right now. I'm not going to tell you about any of that crap. All right, next we have salakot. S-A-L-A-K-O-T. It is a noun, and it is a type of lightweight Filipino hat traditionally worn by farmers as protection against the weather, typically domed or conical in shape with a wide ... I'm going to assume a wide brim, but I could be wrong. But let's look up on the images a salakot. Yes. So we got some pictures of the salakot. Let's just say a traditional wide-brimmed Filipino hat, historically worn by farmers and fishermen for protection from the sun and rain, later by the wealthy and the ruling class as a status symbol. That really took a change. That flip-flopped completely. The farmers and the fishermen, who were probably on the poorer side, you would assume, maybe not, but probably. And then the rich people were like, I like that hat. It's pretty stylish. I'm going to wear it to show how rich I am. Made from materials like bamboo, rattan, and palms, they vary in style and embellishment depending on the ethnic group and social status of the wearer. The hat has become a symbol of Filipino culture, appearing in art, dance, and festivals, representing ingenuity, endurance, and heritage. So yeah, we got different styles. Some of them are like perfectly cone shaped. There's like a really like short brim around the side. I can't even call that a brim. It's like a lip, and then it just goes whoop straight up to the corner. But there's also some other ones that have like a sort of a curved brim, just sort of curves up a little bit and then sort of flattens. But then on the top, it's got this sort of cone, a dome, sort of on top there. That's where your head goes. Yeah, that is the salakot. And I don't know if I'm saying that pronunciation correctly. Okay, next we have sando. Sando? Noun, first form. It is a sleeveless garment worn under or instead of a shirt. Also, a vest. Now it doesn't say what context. Not sandok, sando. Not the katsu sando, that's food. No, well, sando is the Japanese term for sandwich. Is that related to the vest? I think we should just look up sando vest to make this much easier on ourselves. Yep, it's just got no sleeves. Where does the word come from though? Is this I don't know if I've ever heard of this word. I'm not much of a sando wearer. Yeah. Sleeveless garments. Okay, next we have Santa Muerte. 2 words. The first letters are capitalized. This is a noun, and it is primarily in Mexico and among Mexican Americans in the U.S. I think that's kind of assumed that they are in the U.S. if they are Mexican Americans. But it is a personification of death, usually represented as a skeletal female figure. ... Well, we definitely need to look up more information. What was it? Santa. Yes, Santa Muerte. Well, I know muerte, that means death. Various forms of that. A personification of death. Yeah, so there's this religious image that you may have seen. It looks like, well, it pretty much looks like the Virgin Mary, but instead of the body, it's a skeleton. So there's like that halo around the head and wearing this cloak and that very, very drapey cloak thing. How can you tell that she's female if it's just a skeleton? You just know, I guess. The full name is Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte, a new religious movement, female deity, folk Catholic saint, and folk saint in Mexican folk Catholicism and neo-paganism. She is associated with healing, protection, and safe delivery to the afterlife by her devotees. Devotees? Despite condemnation by the Catholic Church and evangelical pastors, her following has become increasingly prominent since the turn of the 21st century. So this is a newer thing? What's the history say? When found references dating to 18th century Mexico, so the 1700s. So 300 or more years ago was when we were learning about this. That's when people were starting to talk about Santa Muerte. But she's become more popular, maybe because people like skeletons, and we're a little bit more open. We're having some real talk about death, maybe. Her present-day following was first reported in Mexico by American anthropologists in the 1940s and was an occult practice until the early 2000s. Anyway, so that is Santa Muerte. Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte. Okay, next we have, how to say this word. Seshweshwe? Well, that's not going to be right at all. Seshweshwe. Seshweshwe. Oh boy, I'm so sorry. I don't even know the context. I don't know what language this is. It is a noun, a type of printed cotton fabric originally dyed with indigo, but now available in various colors, featuring intricate, usually geometric patterns. ... All right, let's see if I can type this word. Uh, did I think I typed that right? Yeah, it's this fabric. Um, oh, there's another. I wonder if there was a mistake because the spelling is different. The spelling is different here. Shui shui or shui shui is what it's showing here, but the dictionary added an SE at the beginning, which is why that added to my confusion. Not that I was aware of this. Shui shui? I don't know. It's a printed cotton fabric for intricate geometric patterns, traditionally used in South African clothing, especially by the Basotho and Xhosa people. That starts with an X, and I don't know how to say it. So, yeah, I'm thinking that maybe there's a little bit of a mistake, and there's no SE at the beginning. It's just SHWE, SHWE. And let's look up how to pronounce this. Pronunciation. Shui shui or shwe shwe. I guess those are both fine. Okay, cool. And maybe we fix Oxford. Hey, Oxford, are you listening? Are you watching? Yeah, I think you might need to fix this. Or if you have more information, please let me know. Okay, now we are moving on to a tough word. It's just now getting into the dictionary. Okay, it is sexual assault. Noun. The action or an act of forcing a person to engage in sexual activity without consent. A rape. An offense involving one person touching ... Well, the rest of that sentence is probably one person touching another person who didn't want it. Consent is the most important thing. Do we even need to talk about this? No, of course we don't need to talk about this. Sexual assault, don't do it. Don't be touching somebody in any way. If you want to talk to them, maybe sort of feel it out. You could figure things out pretty well from that. Okay? No sexual assault, please. Thank you very much. Moving on to sharp sharp. 2 words with a hyphen. It is an interjection and an adjective, and this is used as a greeting or farewell. Well, of course, I need to dig deeper into this. What is this sharp sharp? South African and Nigerian English informal expression meaning all is well or just excellent. Used to express agreement, good health, or approval. It can be used as a greeting or farewell. It is used in other contexts as an adverb meaning quickly or without delay in Nigerian Pidgin English. So, let's see. Approval or agreement. How are you doing? Sharp, sharp. Good condition. Is the project on track? Yes, sharp, sharp. Am I pronouncing this correctly? I mean, that's literally what it looks like. How do you spell this word? Pronunciation. Okay, this depends on the dialect, but generally repeats the single word pronunciation as sharp twice, as in sharp, sharp, or shop, shop. Some people, I guess, don't say the R. Shop, shop. All right. That's sharp, sharp. How are things going? Sharp, sharp. Okay, here. Interesting. Now we have shui shui again, but it doesn't have the SE at the beginning. So I guess, is that a different type of thing? Well, anyway, we're getting the same word twice. It's a noun, a type of printed cotton fabric originally dyed with indigo, but now available in various colors featuring intricate, usually geometric patterns, ... Same thing. Shui shui. Next is skabenga. Okay. It doesn't say where this is from, so we're definitely going to look it up, but let's talk about it first. Skabenga, Skabenga, noun. Sometimes derogatory and potentially offensive. So don't be saying this word out just on the street randomly to a bunch of people. It is a robber, a gangster, a hooligan, a thug. Also, occasionally as a playful term of reproof, a rascal, a scoundrel. You're being such a skabenga. Okay, so let's look it up. Where's this word? I mean, based on the history of these new words that have been added, I don't think it's Spanish. Could be Malaysian, Filipino, South African. Those seem like very common words that have been added to the dictionary in March of 2025. So Let's look it up. There's a cat. South African Zulu term meaning a hooligan, vagabond, or gangster. Why am I seeing pictures of cats? This name is perhaps best known globally in association with the beloved former stray cat Skabenga, who became the official pampered resident and king of the prestigious Oyster Box Hotel in Umhlanga, South Africa. Well, I think we can figure out why this cat is named Skabenga, because this cat was definitely a rascal, a scoundrel, a hooligan. Maybe it was stealing things from the people, stealing food. Oh boy. So, it looks like maybe Skabenga died. It says farewell to a legend. Um, I was not expecting that, but on the other side, so it's a South African Zulu term, and a violent person, a scoundrel bandit, somebody not good. Skabenga. This cat looks so sweet. All right. I think we got one more for this episode, which is social construct. 2 words. Noun. A concept or perception of something based on the collective views developed and maintained within a society or social group. A social phenomenon or ... How does the collective view this thing? I want to read it again. A concept or perception of something based on the collective views developed and maintained within a society or social group. I feel like this term has been used a lot more recently, which is why it's being added to the dictionary. Can't really think of a specific example. Let's just read this stuff. Or concept or thing created by collective human agreement and social interaction rather than existing independently as a natural fact. So if a whole bunch of people are like, this is what's true for us, that's the social construct. The group of people in their social situation, their society is like, yep, that's how things are in our world. Examples include race, money, and gender, which are defined and maintained by cultural context and shared beliefs, influencing how people are treated and how they perceive the world. The theory of social constructionism explains how these ideas are developed, internalized, and evolve over time, highlighting that reality is not static, but shaped by our shared experiences and conversations. So these things evolve. They change. Change is inevitable. Change is always going to happen. Yeah, I think the idea of those big topics, race, money, and gender, those are big social constructs. So how does, a town, one little town, how do they look at race? Well, it's going to be very different from town to town depending on the races of the people who live there. And not just... So race is a construct, right? Like they say genetically, there's no differences. So race in general, but also like, how do you feel about that race? How do you feel about your own race? What are the generalizations and the stereotypes that you're putting onto that race, right? It goes so deep. This is a huge, huge topic. And the next few words in the next pre-G bonus episode will be related to this. But yeah, social constructs. It's a big thing to think about, because everything is related to that. As a society, we're just sort of creating these ideas of how we look at stuff, and we're not even aware of it. All right. Well, that is a fine place to end this episode. Thank you for checking it out. This is a podcast, audio only. It's also on YouTube if you want to see stuff for whatever reason. My YouTube channel, Speed Jampar, we got a lot of dictionary episodes, so many, too many to count. And there's also some other stuff on that crazy YouTube channel. And I would like to put up more stuff. I just don't have the time to make more stuff. What else? Email me, dictionarypod@gmail.com. Social media @dictionarypod, also @SpeedJampar. Join the Patreon for $1 a month. You're getting early episodes. You are also gonna hopefully get some exclusives later and merchandise. You can buy some merchandise And I think those are all of the great things to say. So, until next time, this is Spencer dispensing information. Goodbye.